Hi, Art Seekers. We're here with one of my favorite artists, Made of Hagop. Thank you so much for letting us into your beautiful space. So how did you come to visual arts?
Well, visual art all started at the end of my college. I have a degree in mathematics, and my senior year is when I totally had to take a step away from thinking mathematics and all that and started painting and needed to get into color and get into the creativity realm of myself. And that's how it kind of started abstract paintings and slowly got into collage, assemblage, and 12 years later, here we are, or even more, 2001, 15 years later, here we are.
It's so fantastic, though, that you have activated in your life both sides of your brain. And I really think that there is something mathematical or rhythmic or geometric in your visual arts. And so you found a way to marry the two.
Yeah, totally, because I feel like it's the backbone of my art. It's like the mathematics. If you think like composition, certain elements that I use, it's like you have to really, there's a process, there's a lot of thinking that goes on, but then making it seem like really unintentional or just natural, but there's a good base to it,
And specifically with collage,
Yeah,
because that's all about piecing things together and then recontextualizing it.
yeah, totally. It's again, I'm a big believer of synergy, where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, which is very mathematical. It's kind of like my whole ideology of my art is like I use different small parts of different things, but then the whole is way bigger and more powerful than if you just see the small parts, separately. When you use things that are supposed to be used for certain things and reuse it for something else, all of a sudden it makes whoever's seeing it is just like, there's so many references that all of a sudden your mind starts, connecting. Oh, it's a butterfly wing. Oh, but it's on a human. Oh, like all of a sudden it's like, well, is it a human? Is it not human? Is it an animal? And then the dialogue starts.
Well, can you give us an example of that? Maybe looking at this one, what are the little disparate parts and how do you see them re-meaninged?
It's like you can obviously tell she's a woman, but then she's aquatic. She has like these. The head is it's like, and it's not all her head. It's just like 2/3 of her head, where you can still see like her being a human, where it's like the mouth, and then she has like chicken legs, but then at the same time, like chicken legs being of ground and earth, she has butterfly wings, which is air. It's like bringing like different elements like water, air, earth, and it's like again, is she God? Is she human? Is she becoming a god? Or is she God becoming a human? It's like that fine line of like her being in this world that's like in between,
Something that really strikes me about your work is that they all feel like they're figures who are in some liminal space, that they're not really of any particular solid identity.
Yeah, totally. I like that because if you want to talk about like we are all what, doesn't matter the color of your skin, where you come from. It's kind of that's the idea. It's like mixing it all together because ultimately by doing that you're also showing visually anyone could connect to it. If you love animals, if you love humanity, if you're gonna be attracted to it regardless. It's like that's like the tension of like, is it from the past created for the future, or is it from the future being represented in the past?
I've noticed that you use a lot of female figures, and often the female faces have been somewhat obscured. And I'm wondering if there is an intention, what your message is.
The female energy is the creative energy, and I really feel like it's the healing energy of the world, and we definitely need that energy, especially nowadays in life. And the reason why I kind of cover a lot of the eyes is because I don't want to have an identity other than their sexuality. I want the person to know that it's a woman, but it doesn't matter where she comes from. It's more like their animal totems, their earth, like their connectivity, rather than, oh, are they Armenian? Are they American? Are they African? Female energy is the thing that gives us life, and it's the thing that's going to save us.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of masculinity in the world, and that's good. And it's definitely gotten us to some place now. But then it's through the feminine, because feminine is the creative, and as an artist, it's like I gotta trust that energy. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't want people to get too bogged down by the specifics, thinking, oh, that person looks like blah, blah, blah. It's more elemental.
It is very elemental. Being Armenian, raised in Syria, always felt like an outsider because even though we were accepted by the Syrians, we were still Armenians. And then there was always that feeling like an outsider. I feel like my work kind of shows that in the sense of like being accepted. It doesn't matter where you come from as long as you're emanating good and your intentions are good, and that's what really matters. And usually it's with the help of nature, animals, totem. Is because like when you're attracted to somebody, you see them, but then they remind you of certain things, certain things about them. It's like, oh my God, it's like such a lioness looking, or like, oh, you look like a bird, and I feel like all of a sudden like the humanness goes away because all of a sudden you see like who they are for
The
the spirit of it, exactly. And I really feel like that's what I really try to emanate is like the spirit of different cultures coming together as one, because ultimately it's if you like it, you've liked it all.